and steps required to be put forward related to the resurgence of agriculture and allied sector industries in a post-COVID-19 scenario for the revitalizing overall prosperity of this treacherous northeastern region of India. We hope that the program will be a grand success with the blessings of God and your kind cooperation. On behalf of the organizing committee, I once again welcome you all. Thank you very much. Stay home, stay safe, stay happy, enjoy this webinar. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, sir. Again, I would like to request the chairperson of this session, Professor B.N. Hazarika, Dean of the College of Horticulture and Forestry, Central Agriculture University, Pasighat, to address the gathering. Please, sir.
Well, good morning to everyone. Am I audible, sir? Am I audible? Okay. Good morning to all our respected viewers. Sorry for interruption. Actually, in Pasighat, there is full of heavy rain. That is why we have shifted our center from the college to the CIC Pasighat, which is very near to the college. And sorry for taking time. So anyway, good morning to one and all. Most respected chief guest of the occasion, Honorable Chancellor of the prestigious Central Agricultural University in Imphal, former Director General ICAR and Secretary General Secretary DR of India, Dr. S. Ayappan sir, our most respected Honorable Vice Chancellor of the prestigious Central Agricultural University in Imphal, Professor M. Premjit Singh Sahab, our dynamic Director of Instruction, Dr. S. Basant Singh Sahab, our esteemed Registrar, Dr. K. Momasa Singh, Dr. A.S. Mailappa, the Organizing Secretary, and Galaxy of Co-Organizing Secretary, Dr. Biswapati, Dr. Punawati, Dr. Gitarani, Dr. Nimbolkar, Dr. Pemaradha, all esteemed, eminent, invited lead speakers from the country and abroad, and all dear participants. I, on behalf of the entire team of the webinar, and on behalf of the College of Horticulture and Forestry Pasighat, as well as College of Agriculture, Central Agricultural University Pasighat, sincerely welcome you all and would like to offer our sincere pranam and gratitude to Ayappan sir for giving us time, his precious moment for us, and making it convenient to grace this event as a chief guest. Sir, we are blessed on your presence and making us vibrate, and also will inspire all the participants and viewers as well. We are also highly thankful to the Honorable Vice Chancellor of the Central Agricultural University in Imphal for giving us permission to conduct this webinar. Sir, your inspiration is our inert energy and making us active. So we are thankful to the Director of Instruction, sir, also for giving us time and gracing this occasion. We are also thankful to the Registrar, Central Agricultural University in Imphal, Dr. K. Momasa Singh, sir, for his kind presence in this webinar. During this 1 week long national webinar, we have invited 7 lead speakers, including one from United States of America, from various fields, to discuss about the resurgence of agriculture and allied sector industries in the Northeast India in post-COVID scenario. Dr. Mailappa, the organizing secretary of the event, has already detailed the program. Hope the deliberation will not only break the ground in terms of its content, but serves to break ice in various sectors. Once again, I take this opportunity to offer warm welcome to you all and pray the Almighty to make it possible to meet us again. With these few words, we are eagerly waiting to hear the ignited words and blessings from our respected guests. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Again, I would like to request our guest of honor, Dr. S. Basanta Singh, Director of Instruction, Central Agriculture University in Imphal, to address the gathering in the session. Please, sir.
Honorable Chancellor and Chief Guest of today's program, most respected Sir Tapanji, former Secretary DR and DG ICR, our Honorable Vice Chancellor and the patron of today's program, respected Sir M. Premjit Singh, Dr. Hazarika, Chairman of today's program, Dr. Maliappa, Organizing Secretary of today's webinar, all the committee members, faculty, participants, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, this national webinar on resurgence of agriculture and allied sector industries in northeastern India is very relevant in today's COVID scenario. You know that northeastern region of India, because of our climatic, soil and other topographical advantages, is having high scope for the production of horticulture and crops. Our pineapples, our kiwi, orange, plum, ginger, turmeric, bird's eye chili, large cardamom, etc. has specific market value. And moreover, our per hectare use of chemical and fertilizers are very low. So there is very high scope for production of organic farming. But you know, because of this lack of market, post-harvest and value addition infrastructure, our post-harvest loss is very high. It ranges from about 15% in vegetables to about 25% in fruits. And another very important this problem in this region is that we don't have very effective APMC Act. Although there is existence in few states, either they are very effective or non-existence of this Agriculture Product Market Committee Act. But recently, this on 3rd June 2020, our Honorable Finance Ministry, Government of India has announced 3 very important market reforms. One is this one market, one nation. Another is the one tax, one nation. And another one is the encouragement of contract farming. You know that this, unless there is private investment in marketing and the infrastructure, it is very difficult for the state governments to alone to go for these marketing reforms. So with these 3 reforms, if implemented by the state government successfully, and there is strict these suggestions from the Government of India, I think this northeastern region, there is very good scope for doubling of the farm income through reform of marketing reforms. So today's this webinar is very relevant in today's context, and I hope these various deliberations from this seminar will help in making policies for development of this post-harvest and value addition, particularly in horticulture sector in these northern regions. With these few words, I thank the organizer for inviting me for this inaugural program. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for the knowledgeable speech. I would like to request our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor M. Premjit Singh, to share a few words in the session. Please, sir.
Namaskar, good morning to everybody. Our Honorable Chancellor of Central Agriculture University, Dr. Ayappan Shah, yes, Ayappan Shah, Dr. Hazarika, chairperson of this 7-day webinar, Dr. Maliappa, organizing secretary, our Director of Instruction, Dr. Basanta Singh, Registrar of the university, all the members of the organizing committee, delegates from all over the country. Because it is in the series of the NAHE project, National Agricultural Higher Education Project, which was sanctioned to the Central Agriculture University. So this topic, designed by the College of Horticulture and Forestry, resurgence of agriculture and allied sector industries in the northeastern region of India, in my opinion, it should be not only the post-COVID era, even during the COVID era also. As you know, the northeastern region borders with 5 countries. So there is good scope for technology commercialization. Then there is good scope for innovative startups, post-harvest technology and value addition. Then there is good scope for agribusiness. As it was already discussed earlier also, this northeastern region is one of the mega biodiversity hotspot, and we have the natural resources, and it is also organic hub of the country, and there are many there is special fruits, then even the cereals, for example, Johar rice and the black scented rice. These are the strength of the northeastern region, even though it shares only, there is 8% of the total area. There is only 256 lakh hectares only. That is why by considering this, in the northeastern region, we don't have the big industry, and more than 80% of the farmers, they are marginal and very small farmers, and the land holding is also very small. It is on average 0.6 hectares. And the land tenure system, sometimes it belongs to the village chief, and these are the issues. So by taking this consideration, now we have to change our strategy from production to profitability, from agriculture to agribusiness. And we have to more focus on diversification and commercialization. And because if we combine this agriculture with tourism, and then there is good scope for MSMEs, and this is the only option for unemployed youth, as well as the migrants coming back from other parts of the country in their original state, as well as in order to motivate and attract the youth in agriculture. Only conventional agriculture, it will not work. So far the Central Agricultural University, we have already developed 125 technologies. We had already compiled, and we are having 25 farmers innovations, and 39 advisories protocols. It was circulated during this COVID-19 period. And we're also having 50 success stories of the farmers. So it is available now in the university. So my concern is out of these technologies, innovations, protocols, advisories, we have to select, we have to screen only those, protocols or innovations or the technology which is suitable for starting agri-startups in the northeastern region, so that actually we can commercialize the CAU technologies to the unemployed youth, then other stakeholders. So regarding the production and the productivity, we're having sufficient, India is sufficient for cereal production, still about 70 million tons, actually it is surplus now. And only except oilseed and the pulses, because even the fruits and the vegetables, it is almost sufficient. Now, that is why nowadays actually we have to change our strategy from agriculture to agri-business, as I discussed earlier, and from production to profitability. So how we can proceed, that is in the context of the northeastern region. So that is our first priority is actually, if we say rice cultivation is not profitable, but we cannot leave rice cultivation, because the rice is the life for the Northeast people. We used to take rice twice or thrice. We do not take chapati. So even though rice cultivation is not so much profitable, then our farmers, they will not listen about your recommendation to grow other, high value crops. They will grow rice itself. So that our strategy should be how this rice cultivation, it should be profitable. So for making rice cultivation profitable, we have to select the high-yielding variety replacement in order to, what to say, cut down, decrease our cost of cultivation. Only the option lies is farm mechanization. Then the third one is the system of rice cultivation. So when the quality seeds are not available, we have to think, instead of 60 kg per hectare used by the farmers, if we reduce to 6 kg under system of rice intensification, we can do also. Then even we can use 12 to 15 kg of rice, that is quality, what to say, seed in integrated crop management. Nowadays in the whole northeastern region, since the labor problem is there, that is DSR is becoming very popular. That is why even in Manipur also our KVKs they are doing by using drum seeder. Actually, one person can, what to say, cover at least minimum 1 hectare, and this is, what to say, new strategy for underserved COVID-19 area. And the thing is, actually, in addition to this rice cultivation for grain purpose, now the time has come. The, what to say, the farmers clubs, even farmers producers company, organizations, they have to do, what to say, seed production program, quality seed production program under participatory mode. If they do this seed production program in consultation under the guidance of the ICAR as well as university, then even I have calculated, still our farmers, they are getting 1,20,000 to 1,57,000 only from 1 hectare when they, what to say, produce the quality seeds. For example, our CUR1 under system of rice intensification. That is why it can be converted in the form of, what to say, agri startups, agri business, quality seed production. Not only the quality seed production, we have to think about the nursery production. Either it may be fruits, vegetables, even for the flowers, then even the medicinal and the aromatic plants. So that is why we can attract the youth, unemployed youth in this sector about the nursery, about the quality seed production and the planting material production. Then the next option for the youth is the organic farming, as it was already discussed. We're having, this is the organic hub of the country. And not only on organic production, if the unemployed youths, if they are involved in this, what to say, organic input, what to say, production, then there is a good scope for, then if the youths are involved in organic, what to say, input production, for example, biofertilizers, biocontrol agents, even biopesticides, and then actually, then if they are involved, our youth are involved in the form of agri startups, then agri business, then we can sustain the organic farming in the northeastern region. Then the third is, as you know, the integrated farming system, and the youth, for example, unemployed youth, they can involve in the integrated farming system because our land holding, it is very small. That is why when this integrated farming system is successful, then they can add another enterprise. That is, since the scenic beauty is there, many visitors now they have started coming in the northeastern region. If they combine this tourism in integrated farming system, then there is a good scope. We can attract the youth in agriculture. Then the next, because not only agriculture, we should not confine only in agriculture. Other profitable enterprises, for example, horticulture, animal husbandry, poultry, then even the fisheries. And these, what to say, we have to do, what to say, we have to expose our unemployed youth in this capacity building training programs, vocational training programs in dairy, then piggery, then poultry, even the goatry. So that is why not only this, now another area which is having good scope in the northeastern region is the beekeeping. Beekeeping not only for honey production, beekeeping for increasing and enhancing the yield of quality seeds and even the quality fruits. And then the, what to say, youth in the form of this, what to say, agri startup, they can do beekeeping as well as, and they can provide the bees when there is crop bloom. There is the migratory beekeeping, which is practiced in other parts of the country, particularly in the northern India. So bees for pollination, bees for honey production, bees for royal jelly production, medicinal honey. For example, in the northeastern region, then Nagaland, even the Manipur also, we are having the stingless bees. And these stingless bees, the honey, it is very famous for that is medicinal purpose. And if our farmers, even our youth, if they can produce the organic honey, because there is good scope of organic honey, because actually in the northeastern region, the pesticide and chemical fertilizer consumption, it is almost nil. Even in Arunachal Pradesh, even the Coot Hills, in Hill District, and in those places where the bees are not exposed to the pesticides, and then we can certify, we can take certification from FSSI, that is the organic honey. And if we are able to produce, and if we can sell organic honey, just like the Kashmir organic honey, and they can get a premium price of even 1,100 per kg of organic honey. There is another area. Then about the fisheries also, because we cannot, because the water bodies, we cannot increase. It is very difficult. Now we cannot increase the water body. The only option lies is actually, for example, the backwater bodies, for example, the Loktak Lake, and then the youth, they can involve in paint culture, case culture, and recently about the, bioflow. For bioflow, we don't record the, water body. So these are the new area in which we can expose our youth in, for agri startups, vocational courses, then vermicomposting and manure production. And recently I brought from, that is Loktak, Fundi is very common. From this, Fundis, they are converting to the manure. And the cost of this manure, 5 kg, the, youth, they are getting about 100 rupees. So this is also another area, the vermicomposting, then other manures, even from those, even from Loktak Lake, there is also another area. Then there is good scope for floriculture, orchid, anthurium, then other tuberose. And these are the things which our, youth, they can expose in agribusiness or agri startups. Then sericulture, we're having all the 4, silk insects in the northeastern region. And actually, this Aedes silkworm is originated from the northeastern region. And by growing the castor, you can do 3 things. For seed production, oil production, castor oil. The second one is from the leaves, you can do Aedes silkworm. The third component is actually from bee pupa in the tribal area. It is alternate protein source for the tribal area. So by growing only the castor, you can do 3 activities. So sericulture, there is to muga, it is very famous, tusser, not only mulberry, and we can expose. And because now I don't have much time, then another area, the region, because the farmers are very poor, so they can procure the tools and implements, even the machines, which are very much required for agriculture. So the research institutions, the KVKs, or some unemployed youths, groups of unemployed youths, and they can procure under subsidized rates from the government, and they can do custom hiring for agriculture tools and implements, and they can shop the resource poor farmers of the northeastern region. Then our youth, they can involve in farm advisory services to input dealers. Then the last point that is very much important in the context of the northeastern region, post-harvest technology and the value addition. And nowadays, not only the agriculture graduates, IMMs, students pass out from IITs, then agribusiness management, they are doing, they are earning a lot in terms of crores. And they are doing only these things, that is those areas, new areas, innovative, innovative, that is entrepreneurship programs, schemes. And that is why there are also areas, even in the container gardening, hydroponics, aeroponics, vertical farming, now even the urban horticulture. These are the area, because I think this seminar It is not only the production, because the focus here given in the objective is to promote new technology, knowledge, innovative based startups, to provide platform for speedy commercialization of the technology developed by new entrepreneurs, to create awareness among the participants about post-service processing and value addition, to make aware participants about packaging methods, marketing, and export strategy. So that is why I listed out some of the points which will benefit to the youth, unemployed youth of the Northeastern region, as well as the migrant workers who has already come back in our region. So instead of job seeker, if we can convert them into job creators, then there will not be crisis in the Northeastern region. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for the valuable speech. At the outset, it is my privilege to request our chief patron of the national webinar and the chief guest of the session, Dr. S. Ayappan, Honorable Chancellor of Central Agriculture University.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Greetings to all of you. I hope I'm audible. Is it clear? Is it clear, audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much. Good morning to all of you. Welcome to our esteemed speakers, colleagues, audience, everybody. Esteemed patron of the webinar, the Vice Chancellor of the Central Agriculture University, Imphal, Professor M. Premjit Singh, the senior officers of the CAU, Professor K. Mamocha Singh, Dr. S. Basant Singh, the chairman of the webinar, Professor B.N. Hazarika, the Dean of the College of Horticulture and Forestry in Pasighat, the organizing secretary, Dr. A.S. Mailappa, the co-organizing secretaries, Dr. M. Bishwapati Devi, Dr. Prema Radhya, and our esteemed speakers, resource persons for the whole week, and our colleagues from the Central Agriculture University, faculty and student friends, and audience from all over the country. To all of you, a big greetings, welcome. Repeatedly, I was told I'm the chief guest. I'm not the chief guest. I am a colleague of among all of us. Please, okay. Actually, I'm missing coming to Northeast for the last 4 months. After February, I have not been able to go. I'm waiting for the first flight from Bangalore to go to Imphal or any other location in Northeast. So we pray and wish we get over the COVID soon, and we can all meet in person. Of course, this is also very good meeting in webinar, but nothing like meeting in person. So friends, to all of you, good wishes. We would like to join hands together. And I'd like to at this time thank the Central Agriculture University, College of Horticulture and Forestry, everybody for this opportunity. And we are all aware, Dr. esteemed Vice Chancellor, Professor M. Premjit Singh spoke extensively on the potentials of the Northeast, what all can be done in the COVID and the post-COVID. Similarly, Dr. Hazarika, Dr. Mailappa, all of you already brought out. We always talk of the potentials of and also Dr. Basant Singh, who has been there working in all the time. So you all mentioned. So we always talk of the immense resources in terms of biodiversity, the natural assets, the soil, land, all those things. At the same time, the population engaged in agriculture in the Northeast, and also the diversity of farming practices, the culinary practices, the kind of recipes, the food items that we have in the Northeast. So all these, we have been talking of, and also the higher demand for animal protein. And now the present scenario is, I also talk of the potential and the strength of Northeast is the Central Agriculture University. Whenever I have met the faculty and the students, it is so exciting to meet them, so diligent, so enthusiastic. I'm sure all of you are doing well. Now at this time, our main focus is on the youngsters who have moved from other parts of the country to Northeast, who have gone back home. In lakhs, people are going back to Northeastern states. Now, how do we provide gainful employment for them? How do we skill them? The skills already they knew. See, they were all very good at farming. They moved to metros, Delhi, Calcutta, Bombay, Bangalore, Chennai, and so on. Now in the COVID, they have gone back. Now, this is an opportunity for us to skill them, to retain them in agriculture, in the villages. So if we are able to succeed in keeping 50% even of the youngsters who have come back, maybe after September, October, some people might go back to cities. But now, at least for the next 3 months, they are all in the villages. Now, how do we convince them? How do we skill them? How do we say that you'll get 20,000 rupees per month staying in the village? You may be a plumber, you may be a driver, you may be a security, whatever. But then you have adequate opportunities, as Professor Premjit Singh said, not only agriculture, but agribusiness, value addition, aggregation, taking to market. Now, can we bring that kind of a money capacity in our youngsters so that we don't lose the youngsters again from the villages to the cities? This crisis is an opportunity, particularly for agriculture. Friends, you all will agree, when so many things failed during COVID, industry failed, service failed, hotels failed, everything failed, but only two sectors were continuing. One is health and second is agriculture. Nobody stopped farming. Nobody stopped agriculture. Otherwise, we would have been starving today. Now, today, people are talking of the resilience in agriculture. If the farmers, 50% of this country, had not worked even during the period, are not working during this present COVID period, we'll have nothing to eat. So one is medicine, but first is food. So the immunity level. So that is where, friends, we are very, very keen that at this time we promote strong agriculture, strong food production systems that the Vice Chancellor already mentioned, all dimensions of food production, from rice to mushroom, from rice to honey, whatever. So that's what now we are interested in. Now, this is a very, very complicated disaster that we are dealing with, the COVID. In fact, day before yesterday, we had a state level webinar on COVID, where health experts joined us. They all tell us that at least next 3 months, we have to cope with this thing, with this problem. So now this pandemic, it is impacted every one of us. We had never seen mask. Now every one of us, everyone's livelihoods are getting impacted, and then every sector of the economy, agriculture, education, tourism, travel, hospitality, industry, you name anything, it has been impacted by the COVID. So now every individual, I'm thankful to the Central Agriculture University, you're all staying there and doing your, your whatever possible to overcome this crisis. Now every institution is trying their best. So now in this webinar, what we want to do is, we would like to learn from each of your experiences, because you're all located, 500 people are in 500 different locations. Your experiences are very different. Your backgrounds are different. So now can you tell us, how did you deal with the COVID? What did you do? So those learnings, the skills, the resilience you would like to capture. At the same time, globally you are seeing strategies, national strategies, regional strategies, local strategies. Now can we bring all of them? Because when you say resurgence of agriculture in the COVID and post-COVID, now we need to pool everybody's expertise. Maybe in the next 1 week you will speak about it. Also, you can write suggestions and send valuable points so that we can record them, document them as good practices for post-COVID. That's very important, because such a tragedy will not happen, God forbid, should not happen. But in the last 1 century, we have never seen such a crisis. So now can we document all those practices so that we can evaluate them, we can modify them, we can refine them in each sector of economy. In agriculture, how we should go about, or in aquaculture, and so on. It can go on. So now, friends, we would like to at this stage say there are some things. I would not take much time, as already discussed. Now, 3-4 things have changed. One, the market, the number of middlemen, the supply chain has gone a sea change. I'm seeing, that direct farmer to consumer direct is happening. Earlier, we were only talking about it, but today, several middlemen have been removed. Farmers have been directly coming to the consumer door. And as Dr. Mailappa said, the APMC, the kind of changes that have been brought out. Now, this is an opportunity for us. Technology, policy. if we can really bring them together, we should give an example. We should give a pilot of how to address this sector of economy. Professor Premjit Singh, I would also like to tell, I was surprised, the GDP contribution from agriculture, we were all the time talking of 13, is already gone up to 16%. So you can imagine the economic agencies are also continuously monitoring. So how farming in this crisis of 3 months has already given a small increase. It is not small, 13.5 to 16% is quite considerable. Now, can we build on this trend? That is what is our question. Second point is reverse youth migration. I already mentioned about it. Now, retaining skills, retaining youth with the new skills. Maybe it could be whatever, aggregation, telecommunication, it could be advisories, it could be spatial informatics, geoinformatics, so you can go on. So now our universities are very well endowed with tens of disciplines. Can we customize some small short capsule courses for youth of not more than 2 to 3 days? So they stick to farming. That's the second one. Third point is capital requirement. Along with skills, we also require capital. Dr. Mailappa already mentioned of the schemes. Can we help them? That's where Dr. Premjit Singh also spoke. Agri startups. Can we really bring money into agriculture? This is the time to tap the economic resources, banks. There are some angel investors who want to invest. You mentioned Dr. Basant Singh about pineapple, citrus and all that, kinos and all that. Now there are many investors who want to industrialists. I'm talking of industrialists, because they will take another 6 months or maybe even 2 years before the industry revives. So they are looking for greener options. They are looking for low-hanging fruits. And they all think that agriculture is a low-hanging fruit. If they invest even 1 crore rupees, they think that in a matter of 2 years, they can get back at least 25% more profit, but not possible in any other sector, whether it is service or industry. So this is where we should look at both skill and capital. And friends, you would agree, in the next 3 years for the whole world, the best option is only food production. Food production, food processing, food delivery, because you cannot starve even for a day. All other sectors, auto sector, teles, all others may go bad, but food production will definitely reach the top. So our youngsters in Northeast, can you tap this? Can you tap this potential? Can you take this opportunity? It will never come in life for next 10 years. Can you make this, in spite of all the problems, can we go about it? Then the farmer producer organizations already has been mentioned. This is the time to bring some farmers, we can organize more of them, and agri startups, some youngsters to come in, then industry linkages, and then also the agri tourism. See, now tourism also has totally pilgrimages, and tourism has almost kind of reduced. Tomorrow is the Rath Yatra in Puri, it has been cancelled, and in Ahmedabad it has been cancelled. So now the tourism, only sector that can attract tourism with safety, with no risks for the next 1 year is agriculture. Farming in different methods. Our friend Mrinal Datta, Assam, I keep showing his slide all the time, how he has converted agriculture, aquaculture into agri-tourism. So friends, immense opportunities. Now at this time, main problem is we have to also document this, and our extension methodologies. I would request you, our extension methodologies also have to go a kind of a change. I mean, it could be tele is good, tele, remote, distance is all good. But my request is we still have to be in the field. Many farmers are telling me here that villages are safer than cities. So why don't you come over? Why don't experts, teachers, research scientists, and why don't they come over to villages and stay with us? And then so there'll be a thorough exchange of ideas, and faster transfer of technologies. Now there are all these kinds of opportunities, and the Kharif season is starting in Pasighat. It's good to hear you already have heavy rain starting. Now this season, Kharif season, is the testing time for all the agriculturists, both academicians and farmers. If we are able to succeed and show a higher production than the previous Kharif, we would have shown resilience, we would have shown confidence, we would have shown hope, we would have shown strength to the economy for the whole country. With these words, Northeastern region has always been exciting, has always stood to any of the challenges, and likewise, we are sure, we would face this, and the College of Horticulture, Forestry, and the Central Agriculture University, everybody, you have been organizing in spite of all the problems so effectively. This kind of connectivity, even in Bangalore, it's so difficult to get. So you have organized. I can understand how much of pains you must have undergone to organize this, to contact resource person, to bring everybody together. It's not an easy job. So I would like to compliment the organizers, starting from the esteemed Vice Chancellor, the two directors we have, the Dean of the College of Horticulture, Forestry, and then our friend, young friend, Dr. Mailappa, all are young, all friends, Dr. Vishwapati Devi, Dr. Premaradhya, to all of you, a big compliment and salutations, because amidst crisis, amidst difficulties, amidst challenges, you are performing and you are showing the way to others. So with these words, once again, I am not the chief guest, so I only wish that I am a part of you. To all of you, thank you, congratulations, compliments, and best wishes. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for the wonderful speech and for gracing the session. So the session will be closed with a word of thanks. So I would like to request Dr. Punabati Haisnam, co-organizing secretary, to kindly deliver a word of thanks for the session. Please, madam.
Yeah, very good morning, everyone. I consider it a great privilege to propose a vote of thanks on behalf of the organizing committee. I begin by thanking the chief guest of today's webinar, Honorable Chancellor of Central Agricultural University Imphal, Professor S. Ayappan, who graced us with his thought-provoking address, setting a perfect platform for our one-week national webinar discussion on the prominence that we need to give considering the existing scenario. Next, special thanks to our patron, Professor M. Premjit Singh, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Central Agricultural University, Imphal. It is such a privilege to have you here in our midst. Sir, we are thankful that you could be here to share with us from your vast experience what we as agriculturists need to do at this critical stage so that this sector can bring back to normalcy post-COVID-19 with special reference to our northeastern region. To our guest of honor, Dr. Soibam Basanta Singh, Director of Instruction, CAU Imphal, thank you for your suggestion and possible steps that can be taken as our future course of action. To our chairperson of the webinar, Professor B.N. Hazarika, Dean, CHF, thank you, sir, for your systematic planning, timely execution, and unfailing support of conducting this one-week webinar. I must mention my deep sense of appreciation to all the members of the organizing committee for their involvement and willingness to go beyond their comfort zone in completing the tasks entrusted to each of them. It is this kind of dedication that has brought us this far. And finally, I extend my sincere thanks to all the participants of one week webinar. We have all come together for a great cause, and I believe that the lectures and discussion that we will have over these 6 days will help us zero in on some concrete steps and be able to provide solutions to problems and difficulties afflicting the society in general and agriculture in particular due to this pandemic. I end this by thanking each and everyone once again. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, madam. Last but not the least, I would like to remind to all the participants that the session will continue at 3 p.m. again. Thank you to all the distinguished guests for being here. Thank you so much to all the participants for your kind cooperation and your interest in the course. We have received overwhelming responses from many faculties, students, researchers of different universities from different states across the country. Thank you so much, and we sincerely hope the ideas shared during the interaction from the respected experts will gain in this one-week national seminar, webinar. Thank you all.
Sir, once again, I am extremely sorry, sir, because there was a delay due to heavy rain, because it is not in our control, sir. Otherwise, we would have started in time. Thank you so much once again, sir, for being part of this program, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Jai Hind, sir. लेकिन अभी पहले इसको प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करके